Good morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the show, where today we are going to be talking with Lori from the Way of Positive Change. I'm so happy to have you here, Lori. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. I was
Absolutely.
thrilled.
Absolutely. I love that you're sort of surrounded over there by angels. I just noticed that when I was talking to you earlier. Um, do you work in the angelic realm sometimes?
I do,
Okay,
but they of course, we talk to our angels. We ask the angels for guidance. But
right.
I had a daughter that died on my due date, right before my scheduled C-section, and so I just she is my angel, and so we've that was many, many, many. So I collect angels, and people bring them to me.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. And you have a dove, it looks like, over there as well,
Yeah.
right behind you. Yeah,
Yes, because
that's
they're
beautiful.
angelic too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really sorry for your loss, but I can imagine that your daughter is definitely your angel. And it's just really difficult to have to carry that baby for so long and then lose that. It's just no words for that. So I'm sorry
Yes,
about that.
she's our angel and family.
Uh-huh. That's
Mhm.
nice. So yes, so Lori, you've been on YouTube for how long?
Oh my, I don't remember the date that I started. Couple years, I think.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Pre-pandemic.
oh yes,
Pre-pandemic. Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I packed up everything from my office. I started in my smaller office, and then I moved upstairs to a little larger office with a bigger window, and then the pandemic hit. And so then brought everything back to
Brought
the house.
everything back.
I'm
Yeah.
still in the house. I'm going back
Well,
to the
that's good.
office soon. I had planned on going back uh, right after Thanksgiving. So we'll see
Hmm.
what happens with the
Well, good.
Delta. Yeah.
See how it goes. It's funny that you mentioned that because I have a cubicle where I work at one of the colleges I work at, and I know that my the last time I was there was February 2020. And I know that's what my calendar says. So when I go back, it will be like, woo, I don't think anybody's come in changing the calendar in there for me, but we're
Probably,
still
yeah.
working remote. Yeah, yeah. I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming by. AQ, Katie Moonchild, Ron, of course, Cat Mama, Sherry, Janet, a great group of people here. So thank you for coming and welcoming Lori to the show. So let's talk about your awakening, I guess. How far back was that?
Well, when I when I was really little, I had terrible, terrible, horrific nightmares,
Oh, wow.
and but I spent a lot of time uh, watching the news with my dad right after dinner. So, and then
Oh, well, that would give it to you.
yeah,
Yeah,
and so,
yeah.
but so I closed that down, and then late in my late teens, it started little snippets of still pictures in my dreams.
Hmm.
I would see like 3 days later, 2 days later, especially if I
Hmm.
did it a couple of times, and there wasn't any way. No one in my family could explain to me what was happening. And
Sure, sure.
when it first started happening, I thought, well, if I tell everyone, then it won't happen again. And then it's like, okay, if
Right.
I don't tell anyone, then it won't happen again. And then it just kept happening. It's like, okay.
Oh, wow. And
So
and
then
it frightened you at the time? Did it frighten you?
not
Or no?
not this time.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
it's like they understand that anything gory just closes
Okay.
gory down.
That's good. That's good. Your guides have it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I started looking in the telephone book for different types of bookstores because I couldn't even find what I was looking for in the library.
Right.
And then I found that there was a metaphysical store called Planet Earth in this little town that I lived in 4 years.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And I went in and I met Mary Alice, and it was in the Buddha Plaza. off McGregor, and man, she just helped me so much. So I went in there, and I went in for one books on dreams, and then I went this way in the bookstore, and then
Right.
this way, and then
Sound like me. Yeah. 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 That's awesome. Well, I remember when I first started, it was in like the 70s. And of course, I was in high school and I wanted to know more, and there was nothing at all. And it may be some horoscope books. That was about it. And then I remember even in, let's say, even in 2002 and three, I've gone into like Barnes and Noble and so on, and they have a big Christian section, but there wasn't any section for Buddhism or tarot or very small. It was like all on one shelf, and you had to find that shelf. Now, when you go in, it's like its whole section, and thank goodness because it was hard to find anything. Definitely, definitely, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
So you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I ended up, I stayed friends with Mary Alice, and then she had
Good.
later a partner, Claudia, and then they moved the store a few times. And as I continued to grow, I ended up reading there, and then I ended up being a manager there when another person owned it towards the end of its longest run of metaphysics in the area. So, and I did that on my day. I did it readings on my days off because I worked in the hospital, but then I was able to flip it all over to that side. So,
Well, good. Yeah. But what did you do in the hospital? What were you like a nurse or?
no, I was an emergency room technician.
Wow. Okay. So you've been working with people in that, in that healing realm for a very long time because that has to be, I've worked in a hospital before. I worked in a admitting office, and that was even hard because you see like this one guy came in and his son had cut his foot off, and there they are dripping on the floor. You have to have that ability to deal with what you need to deal with. And I really do believe that it's the same sort of energy that people see in reading or intuition or whatever it is, honing in on somebody and how they're feeling and what they're doing. That's wonderful. Wow. So um you started with the tarot, or did you start with something different?
Dream interpretation first.
Okay, first. Yeah.
And then started, writing I started cataloging my dreams because the more I focused
Right.
on it, the more it happened, of course. And then I started with tarot. And I think I started tarot in 88, 87, 88. I don't think I started actually reading for friends and people until about 89, I think, 89, 90.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we were talking. My brother lives in Seattle, and they have some of the most fabulous bookstores in Seattle. I remember going down into this one person's house with the total basement with all these old books, and I found tarot books out of print, and it was like I get goosebumps just talking about it.
Right, right.
I collected every book I could get my hands on. And treat myself to a few different books each visit to my brother's. And then I just studied, whether it was Gray or Wade or Crowley. I just studied all the different deck creators, and then just sort of put it together.
Put it all together to make sense for you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for myself, and I would talk to my guides. Okay, this card means this. I did a lot of work with I Ching as well.
Oh, I love the I Ching. Yes, yes, that's wonderful. I went on Nancy Jean's Garden about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we talked about the I Ching. I Ching saved my life back in 2003.
Wonderful.
It's so good. Yes, it really did. The messages that it gave me, and the fact that you also have. Well, you're not going to memorize. I don't know about you. I couldn't memorize the I Ching. You go to it and you sort of read the passages and see what it works for you. But yeah, it just led me to where I needed to go, and I am forever grateful. But I also love the Eastern side of metaphysical stuff. So yeah, wow. So have you dabbled in mediumship, or are you a psychic too? intuitive? What would you say?
I am very psychic, and the dreams that happen, like I said, you can't refute them anymore.
Right.
Especially when you're standing there staring at a white rabbit in green grass, and you're asking yourself, "Why am I staring at this white rabbit in green grass?" That's when my guides were like, "Okay, we're going to give you something that's so crazy, you
Uh-huh.
have to admit that it's happening." But
Uh-huh.
yeah, Uh, I will see people's relatives as long as they didn't die in,
Violent way.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I don't know why, Ellie, but they always want to talk about their loved ones' diets with me. Like they'll tell me, um, tell her that they have fettuccine here, and it makes me really happy. So just things that will make them really laugh. I had one guy come through and tell me to tell his daughter that she really doesn't need to put ketchup on everything, and that just blew her mind. So that was, those kind of readings are just so much fun. I do that more on a personal level, not in a community setting, but so I do. I do that if someone wants to get a message from a loved one or some unanswered question.
I love those kind of validations too, because that may not be something that relative even knew about prior to their death. That they saw ketchup going on everything. Maybe they did, but that is so good. I love that. That
Yeah,
is awesome. Yeah, it really
I've
is.
learned that no matter how silly it sounds to me, to just go ahead and say it because it's going to be,
Yeah.
it's for them. It's not for me to understand.
I remember Susan Lynn, when we do our show on Sundays, she said that there was the guy was over on the other side and he was like smoking, and somebody said they smoke on the other side. Oh yeah, they do all kinds of stuff. I was like, wow. And I thought to myself, I wondered how my brother was doing on the other side because he was a chain smoker, but now I know he's probably still smoking over there. So that's really funny. Wow.
And sometimes we're shown that because when we say the person's a chain smoker, they'll know who it is right away. So they appear that way too.
Okay, so it can be influenced by, yeah, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
For
Total
me,
sense.
anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. So do you have a particular set of cards that you like after studying Rider Waite and Crowley and this one and that one?
Yes,
What's your go-to one?
I prefer the Rider-Waite.
Do you? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone to others. I've done a little Morgan Greer. I did the Druid Craft Tarot for quite some time. I did have to cut the edges off it because it's such a large deck. But I just came back to, and once I started the YouTube channel, I'm like, that's it. And I have my oldies but goodies here that are, really, really worn. Oops, they're upside down. They're been with me for quite some
I
time.
have a pair. I have that too. Even though I don't read the tarot, I still, the symbol, it really is smart when you think about it. If you really want to read the tarot, the first thing you should read is your dreams. I agree. I think that helped you with symbology, didn't it? And didn't it help you with how you feel about certain things that show up? I just think it would be helpful for people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember when I had a dream group myself at one point, I remember somebody saying, what is it what does this mean? It was crazy and everything. And I said, there are such thing as spaghetti dreams. And, it's basically you ate a lot of food last night and, and you're not sleeping really well. So, so, you're getting all this, it's probably telling you, you shouldn't eat that much and go to bed. I don't know. So,
That's true.
wow.
Those happen.
Yeah, they do happen. They absolutely do.
Oh, and
Yeah.
speaking of dreams, I wanted to, if you'll indulge me 1 second, I always, when we're talking about dreams, because I had such life-like horrific dreams when I was little, I just like to tell people that I found some crystals that can help. And when I had my store open, I always had a drawer full of them, little tiny ones to give out because they helped everybody's kids. So if any of your children or your grandchildren or your friend's child is having nightmares, you can get an angel phantom quartz. It's also called amphibole or amphibole. So it's AMPHIBOLE, amphibole or angel phantom quartz. And I should have brought one out here. It's a clear quartz with a brownish red phantom inside there. And you just put it in like a little mesh bag, one of the little drawstring mesh gift bags, and you put it in the child's pillowcase. And it works. It works 98% of the time.
Yeah, that sounds fabulous. You know what else you could put in there is a little bit of lavender. That would be, yeah. Oh, wow. I like that idea. That is very good. Even for people, I remember when I had some surgery, I had to be on these really hallucinogenic drugs, I guess. It was for pain at the time, and I'll never do it again. I'll never have that. I'll just rather have, CBD or something like that. But the dreams that I had rats crawling all over me. I had all these creepy things happening, and it never happened any other time. So it was like a morphine type of medication. And I don't know why anybody would stay addicted to something like that, but I know everybody has a different, way of having, of the symptoms coming through or whatever.
Right.
So any other, talk about the stones, talk about dreams. I would love to hear what you have to say. This is a teaching moment. So, yeah.
Well, everybody, it's very helpful to work with your dreams because you solve a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think it's important that people keep a dream journal because you will see the sex of people's children, 5 years before they're born. I saw my boss I worked in intensive care too, because once I learned the unit, I went back and forth. But I saw my boss Peggy's daughter in a dream, and she had no intentions of having children. So she was chasing this little girl around trying to put a jacket on her. So I wrote that all down, so it's, and everyone does it. Everyone dreams. I worked with quite a few people when I had my store. I closed my store right after Hurricane Irma in 2017, and I moved into the office building that I love. But I worked with a lot of people with their dreams, just to help them in several different ways. And I'd have people say, well, I don't remember my dreams, or I don't dream. And I was like, well, that's because you have busy brain. You're getting up first thing in the morning and you're either already late because you hit the snooze button too many times, or you're just not a morning person. You're not giving yourself a few extra minutes to sit down with your coffee or your tea to write down and say, okay, now let's go back in and what was I thinking about? What was I, or recording you can record right on your phone now, you can voice record. If you have an iPhone, you can do voice memos, pick it up and speak into it the first thing in the morning and then transfer it to your book. But
Yep.
everyone sees the future in their dreams.
No, I agree with you 100%. I remember telling my dream class at the time, it's really important that you don't put your foot on the floor, or like you said, with the monkey mind or the busy mind, that you either, like you say, either record it or write it down before you even get out of bed. And honestly, you will see patterns. You will see, I remember being in a dream once and thinking, I had this dream before when I was in the dream. So it was a lucid dream.
Yeah.
But that's another thing a lot of people don't understand about. Can you tell some of the people about lucid dreaming? That would be awesome.
Yeah. So that was part of my awakening. When I was speaking to you about that white rabbit, when my guides were they were really kicking my butt. Like, we're going to show you something that you can't refute any longer. So I'm in the dream and I'm looking down at my feet in a patch of green grass, and a white rabbit hopped right in front of me and sat right at my feet, an albino bunny rabbit. And I said to myself in the dream, why am I standing here looking at my feet, the green grass, and this white rabbit? What does this mean? So the lucid part of the dream is that you're aware you're dreaming and you're chatting with yourself about the dream. What does this mean? Why does that man pointing to that city on the map? What am I supposed to remember about this or the time? And so then just 2 days later, I was over at my friend's Denise's house, and I'd never actually been to her home before. It was her son's birthday, and my son was friends. They were 3. And I was bringing their snacks out to the backyard, out the back of my door, and a big plate of snacks, and the neighbor's little white rabbit hopped over, and I almost fell and almost spilled everything because of the white rabbit. And that's
so precognition pretty much is what that was, right?
Well, yes. Well, I actually saw it in the dream. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. So precognitive dreams. Yes. Lucid dreaming, precognitive.
That's really cool. Some people have said in the chat that they have a guide, but there are some things that are pretty universal when it comes to being in symbology. But one also has to remember that some things mean other things to people than the regular symbol might mean. So, use your guide, of course, but also be aware that if, for instance, if I had a big dog in a dream that was around me, I would find that to be a wonderful dream because I love animals. But somebody that's deathly afraid of a big dog wouldn't find that dream so awesome. So, keep in mind that you have some of those changes. Wow. So like you, I had a dream that was precognitive, and it was probably my second or third awakening, because every time I was awakening, I'd do it for a while and then I'd let it go and I'd go to something else. But I was sitting on an old-fashioned funeral cortege, the old black funeral cars that are behind you, and we have the hearse, like a hearse, but maybe like 1920 or something. I don't know what, real old. And sitting beside me on this side was my dad, and sitting on was my brother. I have 2 brothers, but this was my one brother, my older brother. And I'm, in the dream, I'm saying to myself, what the hell's going on? I'm in a funeral procession, basically. Even though it was old fashioned, I knew exactly what it meant. And I thought I was going to lose one of these guys. I thought, they're telling me it was my mother. We lost my mother within a couple of weeks. So it was those left behind. Yeah. Yeah. Very powerful. I didn't find it frightening. I just found it curious more than anything else, but pretty much was a precognition of something coming to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And there are many crystals that you can use to help enhance your dream time.
Yeah.
One of them is blue kyanite.
Oh, yes.
A big piece of blue
kyanite. Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you. And you can put that by your bed, or you can wear it, or you can put one in your bed. People put them on the nightstand, and that's helpful. But if you put it in your bed, it's even more strong. And also dendritic agate and apatite, blue apatite together will also really help strengthen and many times that merlinite or dendritic agate and the blue apatite will make a strong connection. Only use that if you want to talk to someone that's gone to heaven already.
Okay.
And when you're done, then take it out of your room.
Or they'll be back.
Or you're not going to sleep.
Right. Okay. So Janet says she keeps seeing the same lady in the background. So I asked her who she was. And did she give you an answer, Janet? Oh, here it is. Wait a minute. She normally didn't talk, but when asked, she said she was my dream guide. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Very, very nice, Janet. Yeah. So you got somebody there that's helping you work to understand your dreams and staying with you.
That might be
That's
part
awesome.
of, that could be, sorry to interrupt, that could be one of her Akashic record guides helping her with her
Ooh.
dreams, maybe at certain levels.
Uh-huh. Wow. That's fabulous. There's a guy on it's been on Lilac Lantern and a few other channels, Bob Brunges, and he does Akashic Records. He's going to come on in October, but I've had it done. It's somewhat, it's just so fascinating. That's when I had my third awakening, and it was right after that that I was able to. I don't know what the word is. I don't consider myself a medium, but I have some of those things coming in. So it's a work in progress. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think
nice.
it's really important to, really to stress that everyone has this sixth sense.
Everyone.
Everyone sees the future in their dreams.
Uh-huh.
That's why we have deja vu, because we've already dreamed it. We've already been there in the dream. Well, at least that's my interpretation of it. But that's what I feel.
Yep.
And those symbolic things in the dream, always watch if there's water. Is it clear? Is it dark? Does it have fins swimming in it? Is it muddy? Water is a big one to look for. If you're in a house, does it have a roof? Is part of the roof missing? So it's really, once you start asking yourself questions after you wake up, you'll go into it a little bit more. And then you can use some pendulums or some tools or cards or whatever you like. And you'll find your niche, whatever.
Yeah. Um, and you bring up a great point about the house, because there are some people that also, like for me, I had a lot of dreams that my toilet was clogged or overflowing or whatever it was. And I had running off. It was a running off. And I woke up and I knew right there that I was not either flushing out toxins or I wasn't dealing with the issue, because it has to do with waste. It could be waste. It could, and whatever it was that I was going through at that time, I looked at it through the eyes of overflowing toilet more than if I was in a living room. That word living room, and if it's all messed up, then my living room must be in need of repair. So a house is very indicative, because here's the roof, right? I mean the crown chakra, and then you've got the attic here, and so forth. Yeah, yeah, awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. So, let's see, what else did I want? All right, the stones. So you studied the stones as well, and when you had worked in your shop, you learned more about them as well.
Yes, I had to learn them. Well, I mean, I loved them when I went through Tennessee with my dad. I found a couple when I was 7, so I'd been attracted to the crystals forever and got my rock tumblers for Lake Michigan crystals and all kinds of goodies. So that was a real big love of mine. And yeah, so then when I started working at Planet Earth, well, I started collecting crystals first, and then I worked there, so I had to order them, find them, order them, price them, and but yeah, studied a lot, and then of course had my own store and worked at many other stores for psychic fairs and things like that, all over Southwest Florida, and thankfully I'm very grateful for that. And so I just learned more about, some stores would really carry more of these types of crystals than this types, and so. It's been a passion of mine, and I had a large. I feel it. I started with the essentials because I started in 2011, right after the housing crisis happened here, and so I kept everything really small. It was really ballsy to open up a little store in that time.
That's true. That's true. But you know what? Sometimes I think one of the best things that I've realized from this pandemic is that when we're going through hard times, financially hard times, or any of those, we just need a community somewhere. And stores can be that community. This can be that community, whatever it is that people feel drawn to doing. Um, I absolutely love the Stones. I spent some time in Mount Ida, Arkansas, with with all the beautiful crystals up there, and I realized Dolores Cannon was up there as well. But I went to a place with my family back in, I want to say it was like 1996. I wondered if you'd ever been there, and it's called Casadega, Florida. Have you been to Casadega?
Have not. I am the only person that worked at my store. Even the massage
Okay.
therapists I had at my store and the healers had all been there. I have never set foot into Casadega, and I don't know why.
Well, maybe, and it's more of a spiritualist community, I believe, but it was a fascinating place to visit, and you don't hear about it very often. And, maybe if you're in Florida, down in that area, but you don't hear too much. I mean, I took the kids to Disney World, and then we went to Casadega because that was my Disney World at the time. But I was living up in Panama City, and we had a spiritual group there, and we would go up to Gulf Shores because the UFOs were right off of Gulf Shores at the time. And I learned all about stones and all kinds of other things. But I think, whenever you're supposed to be presented with what you need, it will make its way to you. So maybe you didn't need to go to Casadega, but you met all these people who did. So they brought it back to you. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the other fascinating thing that I found about crystals was because I live in Florida, and I'm a blue dot in the Red Sea, so I had a lot of people tell me that I was evil and that working with crystals were evil, and so I had already read the Bible all the way through one time, and so I decided I'm going to get it out and started reading it again. And then, in the Bible, they start talking about crystals and the Urim and the Thummim and the breastplate of the high priest and the 12 tribes and how they put the crystals in there and they would light up. And it's like, okay, no, no, you're not going to do this to me. I have proof here. And even amethyst was used in God's temple, so it was like with Solomon, and I was like, no, you can't. So that was very helpful. When I found them in the Bible, I was like, yes. So that was.
Yeah. So you could it's interesting because there was a guy that I teach a class with, Christopher Hitchens' book, Mortality, because he was a very big atheist, but he was the most learned man. He read the Bible like 16 times. He knew exactly what he needed to know. And, but yes, you're right. What is it? It's amethyst, lapis lazuli. Um, is
Oh,
it
there's several
emerald?
beryls, carnelian. There's several in there. Yeah.
Okay. So it's almost like the chakra colors as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. A lot of the stories like that, and a lot of them are mythologized and written in a way so people will understand them on different levels. That's the coolest part. Yeah. Wow. That's neat. All right. So we have, oh, she has a dream. She's trying to drive her car from the back seat, avoiding the car. So you're kind of hunched down, hiding, right? Isn't a
Yeah.
car also a physical vehicle? Isn't that also a car?
Yes.
Yeah.
However you're traveling, whether you're on roller skates or if you're in a boat or a car, whether it's out of control or in control, that is your physical body. That's
Yep.
how you're going along, so she's
Yeah.
in the driver's seat for a reason. So
hmm hmm She wants to back out of the driver's seat. Yeah. um, I have had dreams where other people are driving the car. I don't like those dreams because to me that means that person's in control, depending on, what you thought. But wow. Oh, here's another one. Something was wrong with the new toilet, and I should talk to the contractor. I checked the toilet. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Good for you. So sometimes it's your guides and stuff
it's
that come
those
through you.
precognitive, yeah, we're
Yeah.
trying to help you with this.
hmm Yeah. God, it's fun to talk about this. I haven't had a dream analysis class for a long time, but I really I love it. Yeah. Uh, oh, I see. Pure visionary. I'm always trying to get into the front seat. Okay. So you want to get ahead. Hmm. That's interesting. But the authority is keeping you back. I'm just kind of being
That's a really great
riffing here.
way of thinking about it. Yeah, of
Yeah.
visioning that. It's
Yeah.
that deep.
It is deep. Yeah. Sometimes I think we just think something is real surface, but you really have to think about it and put it together. I guess like a three-card reading. You got your you got your present, your past, your present, your future, and it's fine. I can read each card, but in order to assimilate those cards to get the message to the person, it takes a little bit more of an analysis. So, wow, very
Yeah,
good.
and if they want additional uh, information and they want to try, if they don't like cards and they want to try the I Ching, what was really helpful for me was the I Ching workbook by R.L. Wing. That was my go-to. Makes it real easy. You can use 3 pennies. It's just really super easy.
I did the same thing, and then I ended up buying the Bollingen series because I wanted the very oldest one to look at. But you can always, the other thing I want to tell people about the coins, it's not difficult to throw coins and figure out what you're supposed to do. It really isn't. They do also have I Ching on like astro.com that's free. But if you want a detailed reading, because there are some changing lines in there somewhere sometimes, you probably, it just doesn't hurt. It's not, I don't think it's as hard to understand as it is to learn the tarot because you are being given a message, but some people find it too cryptic. That's the problem, perhaps because they aren't used to analyzing something like that. Yeah.
It can be, and the tarot is really, because it has astrology in it. It has biblical symbols. It has from everything from the Kabbalah to other Judeo Christian. It's chock full of symbology, and it really starts to go down the rabbit hole. It doesn't happen that much. I do a card of the day on the Way of Positive Change Facebook and Instagram every single day since 2011, and I read. I'm in a different book right now, but I'll read that person's interpretation, and then I'll go ahead, because you keep needing free new ways of thinking about it, and I will still like notice something on somebody's shoe or something that I just was, after how many times I've looked at them, and there's only 78 cards, I was, oh my God, I never noticed that before, you know?
That is really an awesome thing to say because there are a lot of people who believe they know everything they need to know and they don't want to learn anymore. They're just going to go with what they know. But to keep yourself out there as a student and a teacher, um, then this is why these revelations will keep showing up. I think I really do. I think it's all about learning and growing. And of course, we've had so many new technologies and so many new things that have happened in our world and in space and so on, that some of those things really do change. And you have to be up sort of with what's going on right now. But I love that. So you actually, it's funny. And I also teach a class in literary criticism. And I have read, what is it? The F. Scott Fitzgerald's book. I've read it like 40 times because I keep, I go back to it and I keep learning something, or a student will bring up something and I'm like, yes, I never thought of it that way. It's fabulous when you're open like that. That's great, Lori. Yeah. What a great thing to do. All right. So T-Barb, let's see.
I love T-Barb.
Hey, isn't she great?
Yes.
T-Barb was in first grade during 9/11. I just want you to know that was the cutest thing I can't imagine being in first grade and having that horrible thing happen. Last night you dreamt it was your turn to watch the big chandelier. Okay, so she must be still writing.
Well,
Okay.
contemplating what it meant, it was just like, what the hell? And then sitting, got it today.
Oh, I see. You got it. You got your meaning today after sitting on it. Okay, I get it now, T-Barb. Yeah. And hi, Terry Suzuki, um, and others that have come in, Pure Visionary. So what was it, T-Barb? What did you get about it? You have a big chandelier in your house? Is that what it was? I'm dying to know. I always worry if I walk under one of those suckers that it's going to fall on my head, but I don't want to think of it because I don't want it to happen, so I'm always like, cancel, cancel. Yeah. Oh, wow. All right. Well, you write it in there and let us know so we can get the idea. So what I'd like to do now, though, is have some mini readings, if you all would like to have one. What I mean by that is maybe a card, or you can ask for a particular, like I'd like a mini reading on a travel, or a mini reading on work, or whatever if you want to do that. But we're not going to do extensive readings. Oh, it's above your post, not below it. I'm sorry. I don't see it, T-Barb. Sorry.
No, I think she said not above, right below.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. We are the keepers of the light. That's what it is. I'm so sorry. You are absolutely right.
Wow.
Beautiful. We are. Whose turn is it today? Wow. I think it's our turn every day, but sometimes somebody's got to be on duty 24/7. Is that? And so, yeah, we have to take turns. But yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, T-Barb. Beautiful. All right.
Who has
So,
a question?
Terry Ortega would like a card.
All right. Regarding what? We need to phrase the question.
What would you like the card about? Hi, Sharon Sipe.
Terry Ortega.
All right. Well, you like bells too. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I got this too. Little chimes. All right.
Very nice.
Terry, if you're still there, just give us an area that you'd like the card read on. Is it your work life, home life, relationship? Okay, Pure Visionary. We'll do that. Travel plans for the end of the year. All right.
All right. Be willing to do something new. Hear the calling. Try not to be resistant. Oh. So not everybody wants to do the same thing in the family. So there's some resistance with some that you already know, or getting the timing connected to their schedules. Lots of travel cards here.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
ooh, yeah, chariot. Ooh.
Yeah, I think you'll be victorious with this, but it just looks like getting the schedule of it, or there could be a conflict of schedule. I would try to keep it, Terry, I would try to keep it as small and as simple as possible, and really just only involving yourself and maybe one other, instead of all these people getting involved.
That makes sense, because everybody, it's like, what do you want to eat? Everybody wants something different. I get here, miracles are coming your way. Maybe you will find what you need to know in order to do this trip that you'd like. And perhaps wherever you go, make sure that you really watch what's around you, because, miracles can happen in a very subtle way. So very nice. Thank you. Oh, you didn't meet the doggy? Okay, this is April Joy.
Hi, April.
Yeah, and she's being a good girl. Yeah, she needs a haircut, but she's 5 months old, and so they wanted to. Yeah, that's all. She's a Shih Tzu though, so she won't get very much bigger. She's pretty. But I have to tell everybody, she's very rambunctious and puppyish, of course, because she's a puppy. But I bought this sweater for her yesterday, and it just has stars in the eyes. I don't know if anybody can even see it. See the sweater? It's like a miracle sweater. It's like she snuggles now and she lays down and oh my God, I don't want to take it off her. Oh, thanks for asking. Oh, Terry says she'll just leave everybody at home. That's a good idea. If you really want to have a good time, go alone. That's pretty funny. Oh,
I
all
think it's
right.
keep it simple and enjoy the miracle of the trip itself instead of everybody else's issues.
Yeah, and it reminds me too of when my daughter goes on a vacation. She's an older lady now, but she takes pictures of everything. And I love pictures. I love looking at pictures, but you know what? I want to see where I am right here, right now. Maybe take a picture or two, but she's like taking 25 pictures. And I thought, be here now, be present. Enjoy what you have while you have it.
I feel the same way.
Uh, yeah. All right. So, Pure Visionary, a mini reading on her psychic ability.
Nice. All right, here we go. Pure visionary psychic ability. Pure vision psychic ability. Angels. Pure visionaries guides. Ooh, very gifted.
Ooh.
Very gifted.
You know what? I know that. I don't think she knows that.
She's very gifted. Just has to watch her emotions. So maybe, when you're doing your psychic ability, try not to get in your own way, or try not to over rationalize.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
lots of aces. Try all kinds of different things.
Wow.
Yes, all the different elemental work. Right?
So gifted in lots of areas, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and
Yeah.
especially anything that has to do with elemental working. So the fairy realm, shamanic things, earth magic, making your tools,
Uh-huh.
getting your tools together, and making your table.
Mm-hmm.
What's the word?
Herbal stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
No.
your altar.
Oh, yes. Oh, that should be another whole show, really.
Oh, yeah.
How to make, and it's very individual, but people really do need some kind of an altar. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's also some very important message for her. She's gifted in something she doesn't really want to acknowledge.
Okay. For fear, perhaps? Yeah.
Doesn't want to
No,
upset the apple
can't help.
cart. Doesn't
Uh-huh.
want to upset the apple cart or start this new or look at it. But she has guides that are working with her. They are teaching her and giving it to her just a little bit at a time.
Okay.
And she's going to get a lot of help from animals, the littles in her life. So animals and littles will be very helpful. I also think she's going to be very good at intuiting the sex of babies and who's pregnant and who isn't, with all these baby things here, right? The Ace of Cups, the child, the pregnant mother. And just keep working at it. Keep taking classes and be patient. Absolutely. Patience and persistence, and you'll do very well. And also, because she is closing the mouth of the lion, watch your self-talk. Just say, I'm more open. I'm opening to receive these gifts and talents. I'm opening to messages, and I'm recognizing more messages each day. I get better at it each day.
Wow. Well, I got this card first, Pure Visionary. It's freedom. You are free to do what it is that you want to do in your own time frame, of course, but you also have the freedom to choose all of these different things that are available to you. But you're a little bit worried about reaction, maybe your own reaction. Um, you've got a gift, but what if you're wrong? What if I tell somebody something wrong? But there is no wrong. It's what was read at the time of the reading. But look, the flower's right in the hand. When we hold on to our throat, this person's not holding on, but kind of going like that. They're worried about what they say. So absolutely, that was like that lion's mouth. That's exactly the same kind of card. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and
I
that's
know you can do it.
we were talking about it's what you're seeing for the person doesn't need to make sense to you. It will make sense to them. You have to be brave and say it.
All right, Melinda. Her name's Melinda. Is there a message from her guide that she's not hearing?
Okay, this is False Teeth Real Tarot, Melinda.
False teeth. Yes, Melinda.
From a main guide that she's not hearing. What does she need to know? What does Melinda need to know? That she's not cognizant. The first message is you can afford to go somewhere that you don't think you're going to get the chance to go. Keep the faith because you're going to be able to get there. Has it been tough? Yeah, it's been tough, but you will get there. You have to overcome your fear and decide that you're going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Make a commitment to achieving those goals, and they are helping you, and you will achieve them. That's it.
Can't get any better than the world.
And I think it's about a move that they're talking about. It's either a trip or a move. It's something big.
Okay. I'm here with the discernment card. You know what that means, Melinda. You know that we have to think about what we believe in and what's important to us, and we have to discern what that means to us. But look at the beauty that surrounds you. Honestly, it's gorgeous. And I think you're going to do really well too when she has a new channel. So I'm going to say that she's going to do really well with her new channel. Yeah.
Okay, good. I love those cards. They're very pretty.
Everybody loves them, and they are the Sacred Earth Oracle cards, and they're based on the Native American, energies, and they are my favorite cards of all time. Honestly, they really are. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got here. I did introduce the doggy. Okay. Have we got one? Sorry. I'm trying to find a question if there is one.
Sure.
All right. We got Teresa with the same question.
All right. Teresa's psychic ability. Teresa's psychic ability. Quick changes for the better. Keep trying. Sometimes it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. You must keep trying. There's 2 cups still. Oops, here remaining. Keep taking chances. Keep trying. Keep taking classes. Oh, don't overthink it. You're in your mind. What about this? What if this means this? Keep it very simple. And go slowly with it. And I don't think somebody in your family will be tremendously supportive of this. So this is just an adventure for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think there's some background teaching stuff that she's still, a lot of Catholics have that too,
Ah,
or what
yeah,
I got told, about crystals means
yeah.
you're working with the devil. She's got some
Oh, I
background
know.
stuff
Yep,
that gets in her way here.
understood. I had the same thing when I lived in Texas. I had people, that wanted me to go to their churches, and I'm like, no, thank you. And, then they found out I liked this kind of thing, and they thought I was crazy. And yeah, so people love to be judgmental, unfortunately. I get the specialization card for you. You do have you will come out with a specialization in some area that you will like more than others, perhaps. And it's there. Look at the way the butterflies are bringing it into you. Time, and remember what it is you want to do. It doesn't matter what other people think of that. I know it's difficult if it's a spouse or a child or something, but you do what you want to do, not what other people.
Can I see that card again? Does that have a Merkaba on
Sort of. It doesn't have the bottom half of them. Oh, well, it kind of does, doesn't it? The
it?
way the yellow comes down. Yeah.
Yes, so Teresa,
Yeah.
I would get a crystal Merkaba. That is a very
Oh, yeah.
special.
It is.
Do the breath work, do the meditations. It's such a deep subject, but
It
have
is.
fun learning about that, and that's probably a really big helpful clue for you. I think.
Absolutely.
That's a cool
I
card.
You can find the stone. You can find stones that come in the what is it? Tetra
It's a
hydro.
tetrahedron. Yeah.
Thank you, tetrahedron, and
Yeah.
you can get them in different kinds. You can get them in. I got one in lapis. I got one in a couple other stones. Wonderful. That's nice. Yeah, that's a whole other area. You're right, but it's fun, and it really does show you how these things tie together. Don't you think so, Lori?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oops, sorry. Um, all right. So I have a question here, but I'm not sure I can understand it, Avanshika. Um, so I'm guessing that you are asking how your mother is. I'm sorry. I know it's partially in English, partially in maybe Punjabi or something, Punjabi. I'm not sure. Uh, oh, she wrote it again, but I don't think it's.
Feeling
Oh, okay.
her
Uh,
mother for her?
I think she wants to know if her mother will allow her to marry somebody that she is interested in. Is that right, Avanshika? I think that's what you're asking. Current feelings of your mother about marrying Karenji, is it? Yep, for your marriage. We'll see what we can do. All
All right, let's
right.
see. Will her mother agree with her selection of her mate for her marriage? It's a struggle,
Mhm.
and she knows it.
Yeah.
Do a lot of prayer work. Uh, there would be a move involved with this. Um,
I believe they have to move if I'm thinking she's from India, or they usually have to move in with their mother-in-law.
if you can get around these little prickly swords that she'll throw out of her mouth,
Oh,
and you don't strike back. So when she throws a little prickly mouth sword at you, you just
yeah.
change the subject and don't strike back. This will eventually go away. And I think that you can pull this off. I think you can pull this off. I think you will win. but she's like, I want her to keep searching. I want her to
Yeah.
keep
I
looking.
know. Yeah. Yeah. And it's
I'm
hard because it's definitely a cultural situation here. So yeah, I understand.
so
I
I think
yeah,
she can do it. If she really
I
wants it,
think
then she can do it.
you've got the wisdom to do it because you know your mother more than anybody, more than a lot of other people. So you've got the wisdom. It says all you need is within you to help you with anything that she says or does. And I agree with Lori that you may not like some of the things that come out of her mouth. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. It's
She
your life
doesn't,
that you need to worry, that you need to care for. Yeah.
she doesn't
Wow.
know any better, and she likes to put out little pricklies.
Uh-huh. Just some feedback. Your sister, Pure Visionary sister, said you're getting weirder, and that didn't mean it in a bad way. I know my kids. You're really weird, Mom. I'm like, that's okay. You knew that when you were born into this family. I didn't hide anything. That's awesome. Wow. Well, we are up on our full hour and we had some readings and it was wonderful. I want to thank Lori for spending some time with us here today. And all of you in the chat, of course, we appreciate you more than anything. And please check out Lori's channel at The Way of Positive Change. And, subscribe to her channel if you can.
Thank you.
And thank you all for all that you do. And we'll see you next time.
Lovely
Bye,
host.
Lori.
It was my pleasure. Thank you. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye bye, everybody.